When I began teaching, I read an article by a fellow teacher that discussed the types of colleagues a new teacher should surround themselves with and who to avoid. Now, I've worked in a number of industries, and I can honestly say that what I'm about to say can be found in most workplaces or industries. The author of the article was Jennifer Gonzalez, and she used the analogy of the marigold. Now, that's a companion plant used by gardeners to protect other plants. And the walnut, now that's a plant that can be toxic to other plants. She went on to say that marigolds exist in schools as well, colleagues that go about encouraging, supporting and nurturing growing teachers on their way to maturity. Now I want to take this idea and talk about how it could apply in any workplace. While it's unlikely that you'd be linked to a marigold in a formal way, you need to look for people who will support you as you start a new job. While it won't be possible to spend all of your time with marigolds, you should try to spend some time with them each day or each week. Now sometimes you may not even be able to find a marigold in your new workplace. It might be someone in another business, a professional association, or even someone in your social circles. While you're trying to seek out your support network, you also need to take note of the walnut trees. Now, a walnut tree in a garden can give off toxic substances that can prevent growth. They can cause leaves to wilt and ultimately kill nearby vegetable plants. In most workplaces, you'll find colleagues that can act like a walnut tree at times. Walnut behaviours include expressing negative attitudes about customers or clients, being negative about the boss or how the company runs, and these behaviours can make people feel insecure, discouraged, frustrated, overwhelmed or embarrassed. It can be difficult to avoid being caught up in these behaviours, and some colleagues will display these behaviours all of the time, while others may only do it occasionally. Be mindful though that expressing concerns or raising awarenesses of injustices or things that are just plain wrong or not working are not walnut behaviours if and only if the person behaving this way is also willing to put forward solutions or is willing to work with people on solutions. So if they say this is wrong and this is what I think we should do about it and this is what I'm going to do about it, then they're not walnuts. Now, I don't want you to exclude or avoid people who display walnut behaviours, but simply be aware and ensure that you don't get sucked into the negativity. Avoiding your colleagues or only socialising with certain colleagues is a surefire way to form cliques. This isn't good for anyone. Jennifer then goes on to describe some common traits via some stereotypical personality types. Now I've taken the liberty of transforming them into more general stereotypical people. There's client-hating Kim. This person will make a negative remark if you share a positive story about a customer. Kim believes customers shouldn't be trusted and are always trying to steal or lie. And then there's Countdown Carl. This person is close to retirement and is just clocking in and clocking out. Carl derides your positive attitude. Competitive Christina. Usually, somehow, Christina has made her way into managing a team. She is a perfectionist and expects more than required from her team. She sets impossible challenges for her team in the misguided belief that this helps her team. Then there's Doesn't Happen to Me Dan. This guy always has to have a one-up on you. You'll share an issue or concern and he'll say that it never happens to him. Then there's Hates the Boss Harry. Harry hates the boss and will use any chance he has to tell you. While he might have the occasional good reason to complain about his boss's behaviour, usually he doesn't and his vitriol is uncalled for. Rules Ray. Ray is always warning you not to step out of line or to push the boundaries out of the fear that he might lose his job or get in trouble. Then there's Timer Tim. This guy is always checking the clock in meetings. He never stays longer than necessary, which in itself isn't a bad thing, but will complain bitterly if he's asked to do something a little bit extra to help with a project or assist a team member. Good old days Gary. This dude thinks that everything used to be done better and any new thing doesn't help and innovation should be avoided at all costs. Okay, well I think that's enough for the walnuts. Now let's start talking about the marigolds. It's pretty unlikely you'll find one marigold. You're more likely to find marigold qualities in different people. You'll want to look for people that will help you understand new processes with a clear sense of compassion. People who will listen to your concerns and worries and either just be there to listen or who can offer suggestions on how to deal with any issues. You might even find people who flip between showing marigold and walnut behaviours. If you discover your workplace is only full of walnuts and no marigolds get a chance to flower, then you've only a few options. Now the first option is to join the walnuts and treat your job as just a way to pay the bills. Now it's not the best option, as this can be a bit soul destroying. The next options are synonymous with the natural flight or fight options. Your second option is to fight for change. Be a marigold for some of the least difficult walnuts and show them a different way. Hopefully your optimism will rub off on them and the marigold effect can spread. The third option is flight. Leave this workplace as soon as you can and find another where the people are more supportive. This is probably the most difficult option, as it can be difficult to explain why you're leaving a company so quickly, or why there's a gap in your CV if you never want to acknowledge your association or time with your previous employer. I'd love to hear about your experience of marigolds and walnuts. Have you got another stereotypical walnut you'd like to share? Drop us a line via the comments section below. And if you're new to the Better Aussie Man channel, please subscribe and have a look at the great videos we put out about health, relationships, finances, education and leisure.